Welcome everyone. Occupational safety and health. The review and improvement, the points that needs to be kept in mind. We'll just wind it up with this presentations as far as occupational safety and health issues are concerned. So let us understand what we are looking to check. What are the safety checks that should be put in place? Foremost thing in most of the organization, the information technology department looks after all the computer related matters in terms of hardwares and the periphery included. So employee log falls in case it is there should be mentioned in the maintenance form. We need to understand what is going wrong with which all terminals, which all computers, which all machines. We should always have a revisiting the chairs, the ergonomic chairs that the offices are comprised of. Now, this is to encourage staff from reporting a problem and probably going for a major breakdown in terms of chair breakdown and falling down and may cause serious injuries to the employees. So every 6 months or biannually, if there are checking on a regular fashion, definitely these accidents may be prevented. Company cars are serviced every 12 months, definitely yes, or let's say every 10,000 kilometers or 15,000 kilometers, as the case might be. So, this is what we need to check in balances if it is in terms of kilometers or it should be in terms of duration, and this will ensure that there is always a smooth operation. Electrical cables should be safely installed and probably regularly checked. We are also of the opinion that the fire service checks should be carried out with all smoke alarms one, and if there are any fire deterrents, their expiry date should be monitored and should be kept updated and put in check. So existing hazard or potential hazard, what are they? What are the pitfalls there about? First and the foremost thing is not having an emergency plan. This clearly demarcates that things are not going in as been designed. Not clearly showing where emergency exists. The walkways that are cluttered with objects. Often this is to be noticed in the cases of staircase. Most of the company actually utilizes the staircase to dump away their goods which they are not requiring as of the moment, or probably they are looking it as a store area. This should be done away. This habit should be done away with. Electrical cables left around with the people tripling around, incorrect lifting of heavy objects needs to be pointed out. This is what we are looking at it. Definitely in terms of employee fatigue, in terms of um, mats that may cause slippages, spills, or wet flows that needs to be taken care of. Toxic chemicals on site needs to be looked into. We should always be talking about proper ventilation, proper movement of the air or atmosphere, things that comes around it. Remember, everything is prone to an accident, and that is what bullying is all about. It now this can be psychosocial effect. So we need to understand that every employee, every people on the shop floor or within the organizations should have the dignity. They should carry on their work with dignity and respect. So we need to keep themselves about in terms of employee fatigue. Fatigue will represent that they are overworked, overstressed, or burnt out syndrome might set in. We should be keeping a vigilant eye on these kind of aspect altogether. Not having an emergency plan, walkaways or staircases cluttered with objects, electrical cables, heavy lifting of objectives, toxic chemicals, spillage, wet flows, mattresses that cause slippages. These needs to be monitored and rectified as often as possible. So let us understand the procedure for controlling risk. Number one thing is reporting occupational health and safety incidents time and again, encouraging every person to report if there are any sort of anomaly or if they feel that this is something which might cause danger. We should always encourage them to notify the authorities accordingly. Recording injuries caused in this accident has to be pertinent, has to be rectified, and should be ensured that they are not being repeat it. Getting regular feedback from employments about unsafe features, business equipment, and the building itself. Conducting a regular assessment, work out how you would deal with most serious occupational health and safety risk, and formulate the plan accordingly. Next would be educating employees about how to avoid injury at work. Definitely, yes. We need to understand this is all about training. Believe me or not, people might be trained, but still they require a refresher course every now and then. So please ensure such things happen. It is not only with the employees that we're talking about it, regular maintenance of the equipment is also required. You just cannot avoid. Believe me or not, it is in the perfect harmony that the staff and the equipment works together, and if one of them malfunction, it results in delays. So safety representative meets regularly, probably with the meetings every quarterly, with the senior management to discuss the occupational health and safety issues and fix problems. So we talk about process for consulting about occupational health and safety. Our safety representative meet weekly with all employees. Now that is what the terms should be all about it. We should be talking about the chance for people to share information. One of the most important thing that comes around it. Yes, it is a chance that the people should provided and they should feel included within the management cadre, as if their voices has been heard, as if they are the part of their family. The information from the staff relate to the senior management, and probably a proper action plan should be taken in courses. Senior management will come back to the staff with response to the OH concerns as and when identified. Now there has to be a complete, it's not one way feed information. The senior management should also give the feedback accordingly as to what has been done. So all the information, all the issues that has been raised, all the pointers that has been discussed should be available in the central database, as been the case is all about it. So procedures, as far as reporting of risk and incidents are concerned, employee report risk and incident by filling a form available at the reception or with the HR. This gives a company safety representative kind of pointers, a kind of indications as to what is going right or wrong the other way, right? The informations are there to be stored in the central database in case no action has taken place, and in case some unfortunate incident takes, despite those information being relayed, action might be taken against people who are culprit to it, who are sitting on the information and not working on the or not working on them. As well as filling out this form, the employee must advise what are the risks and what are the recommendation as per his or her understanding is concerned. Safety representative on the other matter, on the other hand, will talk, convey the same message to the senior management, so that they should be taking it into a full stride to understand the importance of the incidents or the feedback. Outcome of the investigation is reported back to the staff. Did I say about the two-way communication that comes upon it? It is always a two-way communication that helps build confidence among the staff members, and look into it how well it could have been dealt better, and probably appreciating their in the sense. So resolving them. First and foremost thing, what we can do is talk to the supervisor. If not, the supervisor is are not available, talk to the safety advisor. If not there, at least sensitize your colleagues with respect to your viewpoint. Every week you need to discuss these issues with the senior management. If you have any issues, we like to go and talk to the the safety representative. And probably if things are not going your way and people are negating your point of views or not they are valuing your opinion, what you can do, you are always welcome to speak to the senior management, and there are due process which should be set in. Now let us understand what is management emergencies. See what is here. This is fire, catastrophic fire at the whole building. If you look into it, the whole building is on fire, and people at the top floor are most susceptible. we have something called a construction on the top floor, which might not be very conducive. Probably the license are not here. This floor, the penultimate top floor, is also completely burned down, and probably this is what to mitigate. Follow the emergency plan in case of a fire emergency. Please follow it. The evacuation. We are talking about evacuation. Copies to this should be there in every desk, and probably into the break room, available break room wall. Follow instructions from your fire warden as and when discussed from during different modes of training, different modes of communication, as and when it happens all together. So as been discussed, we are to go with the evacuation plan. First and foremost thing, start evacuating the premises. If smokes present, crawls down low. If there are smokes, please requesting you to reduce your height, crawl down. Do not panic. Have patience. Have a presence of mind. Please understand, panic doesn't cause any solution. It is only adding to the tension. So once you remain calm, you evacuate yourself or your colleagues or your teammates, move to a designated emergency location. This is what we are talking about, a location which is supposed to be safe, and await for further instruction. The fire warden is responsible to contain the fire with the help of whatever fire deterrents are available within the premises, and obviously fire brigade will be intimated, and they should be there on their way to go around it. So what I've done, if you look in this particular slide, there are a lot of blanks. Now this is as per the law of the land. Every country would have an emergency dial number. So in cases of fire, what do you do around it? Dial such and such. Some countries might have 911, some countries might have 999, some countries might have 111, some countries might have 100. So probably a three-digit numbers, things like that. We all demarcated. So for power outages, contact the distributors. Absolutely, there are the numbers that is to be taken around here. Please understand. For gas emergencies, again, we have a number which people needs to contemplate and should be there as a reference point in on their mobile all the time. So the obligations of the employer has to give you a safe environment. This is a must thing which every government wants. Every government dictates that a safe working environment is a must for the employees to work around it, and it is the responsibilities of employers to provide it. Procedures which allows you to work safely, definitely yes. Tell you if any work tasks come with a hazard. Training so that you can do your job safely, definitely. If you can go about the trainings, the employer should give you the training part of it. The employer should tell you about all the hazard that might be present, what are the precautions of PPE, personal protection equipment being present, and the supervision that is to be given. We have already said about the personal protection equipment, the clothing that to you people. So now as an employee, what do you have? What kind of obligations that you have? First and foremost is to follow the instruction. Follow the instruction that has been intimated, given, disbursed, stated, mentioned to you from time to time via different media. Do not, I repeat, do not put your health and your team members' health at risk at any point of time. If you feel there are certain things that is not going in a perfect condition, report them, report those hazards and incident that works around it, and definitely be a partner in improving the workplace. So let us understand the safety hazard. Number one, if you look into it, it is all about the sharp edges. This science will tell it to you. It might cause bodily harm, physical harm. There is something called fire block, which cannot be mitigated at any point of time. Remember, fire door actually stops a fire, and limits the fire at least to a one particular flow or one particular room. Then we have something called asbestos evacuation group that gives around it. This is what has been mentioned as well, what to do in cases of there are any emergency. So things, if they are very heavy, it's been mentioned, beware of your backlifting. things which are combustible, this particular signature would be going around it. In cases of oily or slippery flow, wet flows, we talk around it. And shallow water, people should take proper precautions because this might relate to electrocution. With this, I come to an end to this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.